On behalf of the founders of Aruna Ki, which includes Amaji, Rob Spindler, Rob Nagato-Needleman, my husband, and myself, Christine Nagato-Needleman, I'd like to welcome you all to our Team Aruna Ki Academy training on ageLOC R². Rob is going to be giving a brief science overview about R² today. And he's really well qualified to give us a talk on science because his background is in science. He graduated with honors from Brown University and then went on to the PhD program at University of California, San Francisco, where he studied molecular biology and biochemistry. He's also asked to speak on behalf of Nu Skin on ageLOC science quite a bit, and actually you can check it out on YouTube. If you do a search on Rob Nagato-Needleman, you will find many of the recordings that many people have taken on Rob's talks. And so with that, we're going to have Rob talk about R².
Thank you, Christine. Welcome, everyone, today. We're very excited to have you on. This product, ageLOC R², is the newest of internal supplements using this phenomenal technology that Nu Skin Enterprises has called ageLOC. Now, there's been several products for the outside of our body, our skin, the skin of our face, and the skin of our bodies, as well as internal products for weight management here, the ageLOC TR90, Total Redesign in 90 Weight Management Program. And now, Nu Skin is about to release for a limited time this ageLOC R² product. So I'm going to give you a little background about ageLOC science first, and then tell you a little bit more about the actual product called ageLOC R². The Discover magazine just a few months ago ran this article called "Grandma's Experiences Leave a Mark on Your Genes." And it's really quite a profound thing. It's been a very hot topic in science right now, and it's the science of gene expression, or it's called epigenetics. And what they talk about in this article might seem pretty amazing to you, but when your grandmother was a newborn, based on how she was raised, whether she received a lot of love and caring and nurturing, or perhaps her childhood was more traumatic or went through different very difficult life experiences, that actually marked your grandmother's DNA. And that mark, those set of markings on her genes get passed on to you. So when you inherit the actual genes from your parents and grandparents, which predisposes you to certain things, what's actually a lot more important is these different marks that are put on the DNA, and these are from life experiences, from nutritional experiences, from stress, all the different things we're exposed to environmentally, toxins, all kinds of things actually affect our gene expression and can be inherited. It's very profound science, but what's really exciting about it is it can be changed by the same mechanisms that it was put on. Things like nutrition and supplementation and thoughts, even emotions, can actually affect how we use our genes. And one of the best ways to see this is in identical twins. Here's a picture of two women who have exactly the same DNA. But as you can see, they've actually aged quite differently. And so it's not that their DNA has changed per se, but how they're expressing it has changed. And as twins get older and older, their gene expression tends to be more and more different. And you can see that often in their personality, as you can see here, how they look, how they age. So it's really quite a good way to understand this concept of gene expression, because the twins have the same exact DNA and yet they're using it very differently. And this provides a lot of the background for ageLOC technology, because what Nu Skin scientists have found is when we're young, we express our genes in a certain way. Okay, and that's called a youthful gene expression pattern. And there's groups of genes that they've determined, they call them youth gene clusters, or groups of genes that produce youth, whether it's in the skin or in the cellular energy or all different ways, weight management. They're called youth genes. Now, these genes change in their expression as we age. So then the same exact genes create what's called an older gene expression pattern or an aging gene expression pattern. And that causes, as you can see here, the skin to be older, or a person to have less energy, or perhaps to get overweight, all of those things. And what ageLOC technology does is it reverses, it returns this gene expression pattern back to when we're younger. And it's a very profound technology because it's really the only thing in the world that actually addresses aging at its source, at the level of these gene expressions. And it's natural ingredients, it's things that have been around literally for thousands of years on the planet. But when the genes see these certain ingredients, they're able to be returned to their youthful expression. Now, how does this translate to us? Well, at the genetic level, the gene expression level, these youth gene clusters, these youth genes get expressed at youthful levels in the presence of ageLOC technology. What that does is that makes our cells more productive and actually more youthful in how they act. And that in turn gives us a youthful feeling younger, or our skin looking younger, because it actually is younger. The genes are happy to express themselves in a youthful manner when given the right information. It's really quite amazing. ageLOC technology has found that the default state, or the state that our cells will naturally go into when given the right information, is a state of youth. And that is really the crux of ageLOC technology. Now, as we age, our energy levels tend to drop. And another thing that happens with aging is because we have less energy, we tend to clean up less. Messes build up around us, wherever it is, whether it's our home, our office. But energy is really an important thing. And as we have less energy, we tend to do more critical things in our life, like eating perhaps, or sleeping, but less of the cleaning things. And life can tend to get more and more cluttered. And this can be actually a downward spiral. Well, our cells have the same thing occurring as we age. Their energy production becomes less efficient and producing more toxins, actually, as well as the cleaning systems of the cells work less efficiently, less well. And that produces an aging pattern in cells. And this is where ageLOC technology comes in. So this ageLOC goes to the source of aging, which Nu Skin has found is in the expression of our genes. It targets those genes that have changed in their expression as we age back to a youthful state. And for the new product, this product, ageLOC R², it's actually targeting the genes for cellular energy and for cellular purification or cleaning. And these groups of youth gene clusters that I was talking about, this is a common theme for any ageLOC product. It will identify the specific youth genes where that product is targeting. It will target these genes with natural ingredients and reset them back to their youthful gene expression levels. So for cells to function in a youthful manner, their cellular energy has to be young and strong and happy, and their cellular cleansing, or the ability for cells to remove toxins and keep themselves clean, both need to be in a healthy and a youthful manner in order to have youthful cellular function. Now, mitochondria are these little power plants in our cells. You can see one right here. There's many, many of them. Almost all of our cells have these mitochondria. And they take the food that we eat, and they take oxygen, and they're like a little engine, and they make an energy called ATP, adenosine triphosphate. This is a chemical that our cells create in order to transport energy around in a very efficient manner. They also produce an exhaust, just like an engine, and for mitochondria, those are free radicals. And this speaks to the importance for us eating a lot of colors, fruits and vegetables, and supplementing well, which I'll talk about in a minute here. But to eat up all those extra free radicals, those exhaust as well. But I wanted to give you a little insight into the energy. These are power plants in our cells. They produce energy. Now, I put in a little slide here if you want to just see. It's just kind of neat. This is a fibroblast cell, and these kind of cells are really common in our connective tissue. They make things like collagen, and they make proteins in the matrix that's around our cells. But all of these little green guys you see moving here are mitochondria. And fibroblasts tend to have a lot. Also, our brain has a lot of them, our muscles, our heart muscles. These are kinds of areas of our body that use a particularly large amount of energy. So they have a lot of these little mitochondria in them. And what happens as aging occurs is these mitochondria decline in their activity pretty significantly, actually, in the studies that have been done, as well as their numbers drop. So there's a very a strong correlation between aging and between reduced energy with these mitochondria, which are the little power plants in the cells. So in addition to those, this ageLOC R² also targets cellular purification. And really it can be broken down into three different things: cellular cleansing, so removing waste and these toxic byproducts that are naturally happening just from cellular reactions. There's going to be exhaust from an engine. It's same thing in our cells. Then there's also toxins, external toxins in our environment and things that cells get exposed to, and the preservatives in the foods, all kinds of things. Those have to be cleaned out of cells, as well as general repairing that cells do all the time. Every cell, your cells are no different. They're like little mini human bodies. They have organ systems, and they have to eat, and they excrete, and they have to clean and make energy, and all of these things happen within cells. And when it happens youthfully and efficiently, you have that feeling of youthful vigor. What happens as we age is that this toxic burden becomes too big for the cells to handle. So when we're younger, our cells can purify to a certain amount. Here, this is just like a arbitrary diagram, but it gives the concept. There's an internal toxic load I was talking about when our cells perform their own biochemical reactions, and then external toxic exposure as well. Well, when the cells are youthful, young cells have more than enough ability to deal with all of these different toxic loads. As aging occurs, the purification systems, the cellular cleansing, become less efficient. And especially because there's less cellular energy around. These two things work very closely together. But this internal toxic load, as well as the external toxins from the environment, gets larger than our cells can actually purify. And they start building up more toxicity, and it's kind of a downward spiral, and it leads to more and more aging. What the R² product does is it targets these youth genes, both for cellular energy production as well as cellular purification. And when those two are targeted, there's a phenomenal ability to feel young, because the cells literally have more energy, more youthful energy, and are able to clean themselves much more effectively at night. And the energy that's produced can be focused more on energy production rather than just running the basics of the cells, because the cells are aging. And I wanted to show you briefly, it's actually quite complex science. When I was at University of California, San Francisco, I was in the biochem and biophysics department. It was a very powerful time at UCSF. There was some Nobel Prizes awarded and some really high-level researchers there. And we looked a lot at gene expression. But what was interesting at that time is mostly looking at one gene at a time. So it made the process of looking at aging much more difficult in a sense, because, there's over 20,000 genes in a human being, in us. And so what has happened now is the discovery of this gene chip. And what this gene chip's able to do is, on this little chip is all of the human genes at the same time. And you can literally look at the expression of over 20,000 genes all at once. And what's even more amazing in terms of what I'm telling you here is this company called LifeGen Technologies. It's a biotech company, and they've been studying the aging process for over 30 years at the gene expression level. Nu Skin owns LifeGen now. But what LifeGen did was they were the first company ever to take these gene chips and apply them to the cells of mammals. And they've actually patented a process to look at these different genes as aging occurs and as caloric restriction occurs in terms of being able to actually affect the aging process through caloric restriction. It's reduction of calories but not nutrients. The macro and the micronutrients are at healthy levels, but the calories are less. LifeGen houses this kind of a database for all of these things for well over 30 years of research, and Nu Skin owns this database now. But what happens with this microarray, so you can watch the gene expression as aging occurs, or perhaps in the mitochondria, those little batteries or power plants, and then create through a computer what's called a DNA microarray heat map. And what the heat map does is it gives you a visual description of what the gene expression is doing. So on this example here, they use blue for a cooler color, lower levels of gene expression, and then the other colors, the reds, the hotter colors, and then into yellow, are higher level gene expression. But each one of these little tiny lines here would actually represent one gene, and the color gives an indication of its gene expression level. So what Nu Skin scientists have done for the ageLOC R² product is they've used the fact that they're the only company in the world that can find these group of youth genes, and in this particular example for cellular energy and cellular purification, and look at the pattern in youthful cells. Now, as aging occurs, those same genes, you can see here, the pattern's dramatically different. It's almost reversed. And in this example, red is hot and darker red is higher levels of gene expression versus the lesser red, lesser deep red. And then there's different levels of greens here. But as you can see, for instance, this gene here, this first line, is dramatically higher expressed as aging occurs, whereas these genes down here that were at high levels have been turned down in aging. And for cellular purification, very similar thing. Well, I'm going to show you now the young gene expression and then old gene expression, and here's old gene expression plus the R² product. It's dramatic. There's over 90% of the genes are reset back to the levels they were at in youth. And in science, I can tell you, over 90% is a profound level of statistically significant level as well to have the gene expression reset. And then some of the clinical trials, there were pre-trials done with this R² product. And within, this is just 5 weeks, time to exhaustion on the treadmill, with the ageLOC science, 63% increase in time to exhaustion in just 5 weeks. So this would be if people were exhausting in 20 minutes on the treadmill, just over 20 minutes. We're talking almost 40 minutes now with the ageLOC R² product. So it's a very, very powerful result. And then they looked also at the actual activity of those mitochondria, the little power plants in the cells, and saw a significant increase in their activity as well. And then there was also a human mental vitality study. Now, this is done with a composite. It's called a CCI, a Composite Cognition Index, 6 different cognitive studies done. And over time, over 12 weeks, this blue line is called the null curve. So these people improved in the different tests they were given, but they weren't given any product. And then a placebo was given to the next group, and they pretty much followed the null curve. And then this is quite amazing. In 12 weeks, the vitality, this is the day formula of the R² product, R² day. In 12 weeks, over 20% increase over placebo using the vitality, R² day product. And these are things like short-term memory, all different kinds of cognitive studies that were, recall, things like that were increased on the ageLOC R² product. I can tell you from personal use on this product, the 4 of us in Aruna Ki, we train in a martial art called aikido. It's quite rigorous, and within a few weeks of starting R², so first we had started the day formula of vitality, and then adding in R² with the night formula, our endurance increased by a lot. Our recovery from workouts, our mental clarity was so much better in really quite a short period of time. Another thing that was really interesting is our sleep got a lot better. And, we've heard different stories from different people with the R² product, and many different, these are not claims, but stories of people's experiences of their skin getting better or their hair getting darker, different things because the cells have more energy and are cleaning themselves better. But it's a day and a night formula. So the day formula, R squared day, works on physical, mental, and sexual vitality. That's the day formula. At night, you take R squared night, and that's the one that works on the cellular cleansing and purification. So the cells are reset in their gene expression at night for cellular cleaning, and for the daytime, resetting the gene expression for cellular energy. So a couple of fun slides here. Starting today, you have the power to feel young again. So renewed. From the night formula, you're waking up feeling more refreshed, having, some of us have experienced a much deeper sleep, a more restful sleep, and in the day recharged, full of vitality because your cells are now having gene expression patterns of youthful gene expression. And actually, I can tell you, I'm the Director of Veterinary Services here at the Oregon Tiger Sanctuary, and the sanctuary is actually founded by ageLOC, our partner in Aruna Ki. She's the director and the founder. And we have all of our animals on the R squared day formula, ageLOC Vitality. We have some of the oldest living tigers in captivity. All of our lions, tigers, leopards, cougars, our dogs, our cats, primates are all using the R squared day formula Vitality and doing extremely well. Now, one of the advantages, this is a cellular cleanse. So this works on every cell in your body that your bloodstream can get the R squared formula to. So this is not just a liver cleanse. This will affect other organs as well as your skin, as well as your muscles. The beauty of this is, like, there's plenty of colon cleanse products that are very good products that will remove feces and toxins from your colon, and those are very good to use. But this product will actually cleanse your cells. It's more at the source of cleansing. And also, the other advantage is we're talking about raising your natural energy levels, your baseline energy of your own body. So it's very different than energy boost products, and there's different degrees of how safe those are, but some of them are being taken off the market because they spike the adrenal glands so hard and come crashing down and have a lot of problems mixing them with other things. And so this is a very different approach. This is approaching your own natural energy levels and reversing them back to when you're younger. So it's really quite a new technology. Now, as we look at just in general how your cells are healthy, one of them is cellular energy, critical. Cellular toxicity has to be removed, cleansing. So the R squared night formula works on that. The R squared day formula works on cellular energy. And the nutrition of the cell is another critical component. And that's where these LifePak products come in that Nu Skin makes. LifePak Nano and LifePak. This product here, LifePak Nano, has over 60 absorbable antioxidants. Over 40 absorbable antioxidants in LifePak, with this very advanced technology to actually get these nutrients into your cells. But they're very companion-like products to the R squared. And I'm going to just give you a few reasons why you want to take You want to take LifePak, LifePak Nano with every ageLOC product, because you have to have the foundation of nutrition in order for the cells to efficiently turn on those youth genes and keep them at the right levels for youth. Some genes are turned up, some genes are turned down. You need the nutrition in LifePak, and I'm going to show you a couple slides on that in just a second. You also need nutrients for the machinery itself in the cells to do their cleansing, to do their energy. There's tons of proteins involved in producing energy in those mitochondria in terms of the purification systems of the cells, how they clean themselves out. And cells are very green. They renew a lot of their raw materials and stuff, but it takes a lot of nutrition to be able to do that effectively. And then the antioxidants, like I was saying, that are found in colorful foods, fruits, and vegetables, they protect our bodies from what's called oxidative stress. And this is something called free radicals that are produced, like I was showing you earlier, when your cells are making their own energy, and those need to be taken away. They happen when we're exposed to sun and toxins, People that smoke get well over 1 trillion free radicals per cigarette. I mean, we have to have a lot of these antioxidants to stay healthy. It's been linked to youthfulness in so many different articles, and free radicals have been linked to disease as we get older. So oxidative stress is very difficult on the human body, and antioxidants that you take in supplements and in your diet are critical. And in my scientific opinion and the studies I have read, LifePak Nano is based on over 800,000 published studies. That's how those ingredients were chosen. So these work really well, and I'm just going to show you why for a second. In order for a cell to access a gene, our chromosomes are really wound tight, a lot of DNA, okay? And then they're wrapped in proteins. It's about a 50-50 mixture, actually, of protein and DNA. It's very complex, and to get to a gene is a lot of work for a cell, and it's a very sophisticated process. And the machinery that allows this to happen, that does this, requires the nutrients in the LifePak products, LifePak Nano. I mean, I just put this here. This looks very complex. This is just some of the proteins that assemble in order to actually read the information in a gene. And they require the cofactors and the vitamins and the minerals that are in the LifePak products. So if you want to optimize any of your ageLOC products, you need to be on the LifePak products as well. So recommended use of the R-squared product, kind of funny, for men and women who have ever felt flat, sluggish, and out of tune, want to feel young again. That's a huge demographic, okay? That could be anyone from, less than 20 to 150. It doesn't matter. This product will be assistive for so many people. So at night, you take 2 of the R-squared night capsules. In the day, you take 6 of the R-squared day capsules. So this works on your cellular energy and vitality in the day and your cellular cleansing and purification at night. So in closing, I want to thank you for listening to our R-squared talk. I hope this gives you a better understanding of the ageLOC technology in general. I've recorded much longer talks if you're interested to hear about the science in more depth, but this was specifically to give you a better understanding of the R-squared product and why this is something you definitely want to put into your body every day if you enjoy being young. So thank you very much. On behalf of the founders in Aruna Ki, thank you so much for coming on.